Hey, it's Gabe with API Nation. Today I'm going to show you how you can sync Mailchimp to KW Command if you're a Rainmaker or a team leader. This way you can get your entire team's contacts, everybody that is owned by your team, into a single Mailchimp newsletter list. So you can start sending out those email newsletters to all those contacts without having to download, upload, import, export, none of that stuff. It's just automatically going to keep your newsletter list updated. Also, you can sync the tags from KW Command into Mailchimp so that as you tag somebody in KW Command, you can be triggering a campaign in Mailchimp. It's super easy to set this up. Let me show you how. First thing you're going to do is hop into KW Command, and you're going to use this little marketplace icon right here, this little shop, and you're going to click on that, and it's going to take you to the marketplace. Once you're here, you're just going to search for Mailchimp. And you're going to see a bunch of tiles, a bunch of different products, and you're going to look for the product that says Mailchimp Sync for Rainmaker/Teams to KW Command. So this is the specific product that is going to allow you as a Rainmaker to connect your entire office to a Mailchimp. Go ahead and click the Start a Free Trial button, and it's going to walk you through purchasing this sync for yourself. Once you purchase it, it's going to take you to the My Apps area. In the My Apps area, you can also click this link at the top of the header to go there. But My Apps is where it keeps all of the apps you've purchased, all the syncs, all the products you've purchased in the marketplace. So you can come here, and we need to go here to set up your sync. So even though you've purchased it, that's all done and ready. Now we need to come in here and click through this tile to set it up. So I'm going to click through the tile. It's going to take me out to API Nation to go ahead and start setting up the sync. And the first thing it's going to ask you here is, what exactly do you want to set up? Do you want to set up the sync from KW Command to Mailchimp? Or do you want to set up a sync from Mailchimp to KW Command? Or do you want to set it up so Mailchimp is posting a note in KW Command when there's some activity on a specific campaign? I'm going to start with KW Command to Mailchimp. Actually, I'm going to check all three of these. And I'm going to create syncs for all three of these. So I'll hit continue to set up, and it's going to go ahead and grab all those. And first it's going to have us sign into our two apps. So first we're going to choose our KW account. Be sure to choose the team account so that we can get the entire office's contact into that Mailchimp. Hit select. Next we're going to connect Mailchimp. Super easy. Hit connect. It's going to ask you for a name for the connection. You can just name it after your office or yourself. And it's going to ask you for an API key. So let's hop into Mailchimp and grab that. So here I am in my Mailchimp. I'll come over here to the top right, click on that, go to Profile, and then I'm going to go to Extras. There it is. Click on Extras. There's API keys. Grab that. And if you don't have any API keys here, you can go ahead and create one. So I'm going to create a key. And I'm going to call it KW Command Generate Key. There it is. So I'll copy that, go back to API Nation, and paste it in there. There we go. So now I've created the connection to Mailchimp. Now I'm just going to confirm we're creating the syncs. And here we go. You can see we have 3 syncs here in draft. So I'm going to start with the most common sync, KW Command contacts to Mailchimp. All right, and to set this sync up, you're just going to have a few questions here. This is KW Command to Mailchimp, getting all those contacts and leads into Mailchimp. The first thing you're going to decide, do I want to sync all contacts or just existing contacts? Click here, you're going to sync all contacts. Uncheck here, it's just going to sync any existing contacts. This is kind of important because Mailchimp does charge you by the contact. So if you have thousands of contacts in your KW Command and you're not sure if they're good, you need to go through and clean them up, just leave this box unchecked, and then you'll start moving people over gradually into Mailchimp as you clean them up, as you add them to your database in KW Command. But if it is neat and tidy, ready to go, check this box, get them all in Mailchimp, start sending out those emails. Great idea. In Mailchimp, you're going to decide which audience do you want to send it to, and then you're going to decide do you want to override information in Mailchimp. So if you already have contacts in Mailchimp, should we overwrite any matching contact or just fill any information in the blanks for those matching contacts? Totally up to you. There's also a filter, so you can filter based on any of these fields here in KW Command. An important one here might be owner name, so you can set up a filter so that only the leads owned by a certain agent are going over to a Mailchimp newsletter. So this way you can set up syncs that are going to certain newsletter audiences that are maybe arranged by agents. So you could say this one's going owner name contains Johnson, and then you would just sync it to Johnson's audience, and you would just clone the sync and do it for each of your agents. Totally up to you if you want to do something like that. Another option might be to tag. So you would say tag contains Mailchimp. This way you only sync over people who you've tagged in KW command with Mailchimp into your newsletter. Another great way to control who's going over to your newsletter list. But if you're just trying to build out that list as big as possible, get everybody in there so you can stay top of mind with as many contacts and leads as possible, just go with no filter. Come down here to mapping. Like I said before, tags from KW command are going to sync into tags from Mailchimp. So again, if you tag somebody in command, it's going to tag them in Mailchimp. It could trigger a campaign if you set that up in Mailchimp. Emails going here. Anything else you want, just find it. Neighborhood. Let's go ahead and grab a neighborhood. There we go. This all looks good. A nice thing to keep in mind here is we do pull over custom fields from Mailchimp. So if you need anything from KW command, you have a field you really like in KW command, you want it included in your Mailchimp database as well, just create the field in Mailchimp and then you'll find it in here, and then just set up the correct KW command field to sync into that field. This looks good. I'm going to go ahead and activate this sync. There we go. This sync is up and running. Now let's go set up Mailchimp back to KW command. So we're going to click My Syncs, and we have 2 syncs left. Mailchimp subscribers to KW command contacts is the next one I want to look at. This is pretty rare, but I have seen some agents use this successfully. Basically, if you have Mailchimp, Mailchimp has some features in it where you can sign up for a Mailchimp audience. You know, some pop-ups. They have some stuff on Facebook where people can subscribe to your Mailchimp audience. So if you've done that and you have people subscribing to Mailchimp, maybe you want to make sure everybody who subscribes to Mailchimp also gets added to KW. So that's what this sync is for. So you come down here, select the audience where people are subscribing, decide if you want to sync everybody who's currently in that audience into KW command. I'm going to go ahead and say yes. And then you're going to say what you're going to do with these contacts as they come over. Because you have a Rainmaker account, you can actually go ahead and just send them to lead routing. That way, as they come into KW command, you can use the rules you've already established in command to send the contacts to whichever agent they're supposed to go to. Just make sure you specify a source here. And then you can choose if you want to overwrite information. So if they already exist in KW command, should we overwrite it? Or should I check this box and say, don't overwrite it, just fill in any extra fields if there happens to be some new information. So you could do that, or you can choose not to send it to lead routing. And then you'll choose if you want to mark it as a lead or just keep it as a contact. I'm going to mark it as a lead. And then you can decide if you want to send it to yourself or choose another agent you want to send these Mailchimp contacts to. Maybe you're setting this up for Eager. That agent, he's got a list here and he's trying to get it to himself. And you, as a good broker, as a good admin, are helping him out. So you could do that. You could just have everybody from his audience who's signing up for it getting assigned to him. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with the lead routing. That way everybody gets synced into KW command and they get kind of parsed out to the correct agent. Come down here to filter. Again, you could filter based on anything from Mailchimp, including that KW commands tags field we just set up. And then here's the mapping: first name, email, phone number, last name. One thing you might want to be sure of is if you are getting subscribers to your Mailchimp and you want them to get into KW command, make sure the form you have that they're signing up for, first name, email, and phone number is required. Otherwise, you're just going to get a bunch of email addresses. You're not going to be able to sync those into KW command without first and last name. So you're going to make sure first and last name and email at the very least are required. There's a bunch of other stuff that might be in Mailchimp as well. We'll sync that in. This all looks good. I'm going to go ahead and activate this sync. So there we go. Now, if I have people subscribing to my Mailchimp, those people are going to get synced into KW command as well. The last type of sync we have for Mailchimp and KW command is if you have a campaign, maybe like a journey or a greeting campaign that you want to know how well it's doing, you can go ahead and connect it up to KW command so that it posts a little note when there's activity with that campaign. So you would come in here, select the activity. Maybe I just want to see I'm going to go ahead and choose email opened. And then you'll just choose the campaign you want to keep track of. So make sure you know exactly which campaign it is in MailChimp. They all have different names. If you go in here and go over here to campaigns or journeys, just remember what the name of the journey email is or the campaign. So I'm going to go with test campaign for now. And then you'll come down here to mapping and you'll just put in a little title, note title. So test campaign email opened. And then in the note details, you can put whatever information you think is important. Maybe the user email address. So I'll say this email address has opened, and then I'll put a little plus sign. The test campaign email at, and then I'll put a little plus sign, and then put the activity timestamp. Make sure the email address is here. That's how we're going to map up who exactly is supposed to get this note. This looks good. And I'm going to go ahead and save everything and activate this sync. So now as that test campaign is going out, maybe as people join, as the journey email goes out to greet them, if they open it in KW command, you'll get a little note on the contact that says contact has opened that email. And that would actually be in the notes right over here, kind of in that activity area. It's going to allow you to see exactly how that campaign is doing with different contacts as you go through them and check out the activities. And that's it. That's how you connect KW Command to MailChimp. Now all your contacts are automatically getting put on your newsletter list. You can tag somebody command, trigger a campaign in MailChimp. You can do all this stuff, be more productive, stay top of mind, and create more deals. If you need any help setting up this sync, shoot us an email, give us a phone call. We're API Nation, connecting the world's applications.